speaking of the current day,
Yes.
because I think that as historians we know that public education, public schools have always been at the forefront. A lot of people say, at the focal point of these culture wars, and under a microscope, because that just shows you how important our jobs are, that so many different people from different sides of the aisle are paying attention to what we're teaching and how we're teaching it. And my biggest concern, I'm 21 years U.S. history, AP U.S. history teacher, and I love my job, obviously, I've been doing it for 21 years, and I have so many young people come to me and say, I really want to be a teacher, I love history, I want to share that with the next generation, but if they're not living in New York or a place where they feel like they're less under a microscope in terms of what they're teaching, they're concerned. So I wanted to ask you what advice you have for teachers who want to be able to keep their jobs, not get attacked for what they're teaching, but still teach empathy and historical understanding.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, lean on the sources. Always lean on the primary sources in any way that you can. If you're talking about slavery and there's a discussion about what was the reason the Civil War started, bring out the secession documents, because it says pretty explicitly. Also, lean into your students' ability to ask questions. What do they want to know? What are their wonderings and curiosities? Because if the kids see the sources, they see the topics, they are going to have questions. And then I would say one of the other things to consider is a framework called culturally relevant pedagogy, which was developed by Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings in the early 90s.
So what's it called again?
Culturally relevant pedagogy,
Okay.
CRP. And what we love about CRP is that it says, who are the students in front of you? What do they need? And how can we better reflect our students' identities in what we're teaching? It's a marvelous framework. It has 3 tenets. It's not one extra thing. I think a lot of teachers see it, it's like, oh, there's another acronym.
Right.
But it's what you're already doing, but with more intentionality.
And that's what I find with a lot of the acronyms and somewhat seemingly gimmicky models and frameworks that teachers, for 21 years, there's been so many different frameworks. But at the end of the day, it is just helping us kind of organize what we're already doing and call it out and be more, I guess, mindful of it.
Yes.
And I think there should be nothing political about centering the students in your particular classroom in their study of history.
They're going to be more interested if they see things that relate to their life and their experiences and their interests.
Right.
As we all are.
Yeah.
And one great way to incorporate culturally relevant pedagogy is to think about your local place. Because for every student, the most relevant thing to them is their time and their place.
Yep.
And so what happened in that community that you can connect to other things.
I love that. Yeah, and keeping it local is so important.